Beaver, away!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NA Highlander Newbie One Day Cup. I am extrasolar. Oh, sorry, sponsored by STN Trading. Got to get that in. Very important. I am extrasolar. With me today is jakeowaty. How are you doing, Jake?
Pretty good. I've been called by Wiethoofd to cast this game here. It's an NA Cup, so it's a bit out of my area of expertise, you would say. More of a EU-centric guy, but hey, there you go.
Hey, it's still Highlander.
They're Highlander, man. It's round 3 of it. So the team, whichever team wins this, will go to quarterfinals, I believe. Semi-finals already.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's a sort of a round-robin type thing. I mean, we haven't got the exact things. We've got a bit of the classic EU production quality here with you. We're not quite sure about who goes through, but like either way, we've got some interesting games here. We've just finished casting Fromp against mediocre mercs, and now they're playing against, I believe it's pronounced Amicitia. I'm going to say
Amicitia?
That. Yeah.
A little bit of an accent there. I do believe it's a Spanish word, but we might be very well wrong here. I don't know. We don't know yet, but the game is shortly about to begin because we have all 9 players for both teams ready to go. Red team is going to be occupied by Fromp, and the blue team is going to be Amicitia this time, unless they decide otherwise.
Could have a heavy fist fight. Not sure if that's in the rules for this cup or not. We haven't seen a heavy fist fight for the team so far today. But yeah, we just saw Fromp play against mediocre mercs. Fromp did end up winning that game. It was quite close, really, but they ended up winning it 3-1. It was much closer than the scoreline really implied, I think. Saw some very good stuff from Fromp. With their coordination, I think was they're one of the most coordinated teams I've seen so far in the cup today. I have not seen Amicitia play so far, so I'd be very eager to see how they actually play around the coordination on Fromp's side.
And then this is Borneo, so it could very well be either side here. It's a very long map, takes a long time to push the card, and there's a lot of opportunities for both teams to kind of figure out what they want to do, where they want to set up. There's plenty of spaces you can actually set up on. Definitely third and last points are the most difficult to push, as the height advantage that the defenders get is quite big. But when we talk about this map in particular, you have to remember the history of it, that it actually been released a few years back. And I do believe it was made for just Highlander in general, like competitive in general, like with the idea of the Highlander being played on this map. And it's kind of been forgotten for a while, and then Valve, maybe a year or two ago, just picked it up, said, you know what, let's just add it to the regular map pool for casual. And it's kind of came back to the graces of Highlander as well as a result. I think it's a pretty good map, but a little bit too long for my taste. The games on this map can really last quite a while, especially if you're just playing one round. One round on this map can last sometimes 45 to 1 hour minute.
Yeah, I mean,
60 minutes.
It's got one of the same problems as Swiftwater got. I mean, Swiftwater, it's mostly because of the amount of points that Swiftwater you have to push on. It's got 5 points. But I think Borneo, like as you said, it takes a very long time to push. It's like, it reminds me a lot of Badwater, an elongated jungle-y version of Badwater, in which you have those huge sniper sight lines for people to look through. Borneo is such a huge sniper map. I mean, if your sniper goes off on this map, then you've got a very good game on your hands for your team. But I think, crucially, I think as well, there's a lot of different ways to play it, and it'll be interesting to see how these teams really just go about their play styles on this map. I mean, there's at least 3 different second holds I can think of just off the top of my head, and that's just like the experienced teams. I think, like Borneo as well, as you said, it had just been introduced into the casual rotation. But back when casual, I can't remember when it came out. It was like 2016, I think it came out, wasn't it, or 2017?
It's been a while, actually. Like,
yeah, it's been
for me,
the
TF2 timeline for me is really kind of getting really stretched. I still remember where you could just throw a sandwich down on your feet and eat it as a heavy, and that's been like years ago. And for me, it's just been like yesterday. Or other, changes to items and maps and everything. It's just been a while. I mean, this game has been with us for a while, and as you can see, people are still interested in playing this, and Newbie Cups being hosted here by STN, big thanks to them for sponsoring this for the NA. It's pretty huge, man. I mean, EU has always been kind of more focused on the Highlander scene than any other country or continent, really.
So we got multiple leagues as well, haven't we? Like, you know, NA have only really they've only recently have NA gotten more than one major Highlander league, really, and they've just gotten like TFCL, haven't they? Because they used to have just UGC, but now with TFCL coming in, they've got a little bit more choice. But in Europe, like, you can just I think historically it has been a lot easier to just pick up Highlander in Europe.
Yes, definitely.
Just because you have the leagues going on at different times. You've got UGC and TF2L. We used to have Wire Play as well, like back when that was a thing.
That was a while ago as well. I remember when there was Wire Play and there were actually some sponsored prizes there as well. It's just been quite a while, but we're getting ready to go, actually, ladies and gentlemen. Here, the teams are Amicitia versus Fromp, playing here on PL Borneo. It's third round of the Newbie Cup, sponsored by SDN, and take it away, Solar.
Well, we got Craft Max 12 running out on his default wrench here. See what you can build. Got his usual stuff, just checking classes and spawn. We actually have the first suicide on blue. Blue team have won the suicide race, so they will not have the crucial KD advantage for the start of this game. Oh, we've already got a player drop. Have a pyro timing out on blue.
That's really
classic Highlander.
Unfortunate, but maybe they will come back before the other team sets up. I mean, this is still a minute to go, or 30 seconds, so it's not much time, but enough to connect back, provided you have good internet.
We had quite a lengthy pause in the Lakeside game. It actually degenerated to the point where we were talking about the hats that everyone was wearing, because we had no more things to talk about after that pause. So hopefully we've got, if we do have a pause, we have a shorter pause. Oh, he's just joined back in. There we go. Just a short blue poke. God, interesting sentry spot actually coming out from Craft Max. Yeah, like
it's always a trade-off. I mean, you get a little bit aggression more out of the sentry, a little bit more power, but at the same time, it's very prone to being shot down by snipers, soldiers, demos. Very easy. Let's see what the red team and blue team actually decide to do here. Amicitia being on the blue, Fromp on the red. Here on the left, on the flank side, coming close. First kill of the game is on the Retro. Is this heavy? And Jigger dropping down as well on the right side, trying to figure out where the positions are, but currently they're just dropping players here. Amicitia, not quite sure what to do at the moment.
Sniper has them locked now. I mean, the medic's out straight away as well, which, you know, like, fair enough, but, like, if you've got the sniper locking that down, like, they really cannot walk forward for a good time, and the sniper's just sat. Torty's just sat on the tree, just popping off heads.
But there he goes. Red X actually finishes up here. Wheatpig going back behind the combo. They popping the Uber here. Forced out is Metal Cloud. Going in the front of the sentry. Getting spammed out by the soldier, but it's still kept up by the engineer. Well done there by Craft Max. Making sure that this survives, but they're behind the rocks on the flank here.
The aggression from Red here. Like the aggression as well, like just coming back in. Like they're wasting no time at all. And our Pelican, Force does just come in from the flank and just takes him down. But look at the aggression coming out here. Like they are not giving up this ground from Fun.
That's good, because there's a lot of places that the blue team can kind of hide behind, protect themselves from the sentry. If they provide this aggression for the sentry to actually be in that aggressive spot, is actually working out for them. But Castrol here with Derdan actually sapping the sentry, and engineer nowhere to be seen. He's gonna be blocked by the spy. I don't think he has enough time to get back to it. He's gonna whack it once, and the second time is not in time, as the blue team is currently pushing the car at the same time as the sentry has gone down. Here, Craftmax trying to get it back up, but Retro alone with the scout here.
No, either Toast will get caught out here.
Going in for this for the medic solo is Likan Le Pelican, but is not enough here. There's heavy going down as well for the red team, but they're still holding here. Fromp is doing pretty good job.
Medic. He does, so very close there, but he will try and pistol him down. And he's got no one with him.
Yeah, Metal Cloud is a lot of trouble right now, but he is.
He does escape with his life.
Yeah, he's gonna be quite safe and sound there. But right now, Durden still being a menace behind, still being cloaked and waiting for the engineer to be out of position. He's gonna go for the sentry once again, going down to level 2.
Yeah, the brilliant advantage in frags. The meta as well, wow. That's very big. Yeah, like, 90%. Look at the sights coming out from blue team. They're just all just playing around that payload. They're just overwatching this payload cart here. Just deathballing through, and it really to great effect.
Well done by the blue team here. Amicitia actually finally getting through this defense of the red team. Now Fromp will have to set up on the second. Let's see what they do here.
But the health is terrible for red team here. I mean, Heavy's eating a sandwich here. I mean, they do use it, and Pelican's only got 20%. Pelican is really going to do a lot of work to kite this Uber here. And Omga really just like walks in through tunnel, does get the frags, but the medic has lived so far, but he will get caught out behind, I think. I don't see Pelican getting out.
Metal Cloud in a lot of trouble. He popped in with the team. He managed to clean up quite a lot of the red, but he's actually out of the situation. How is that even possible? Red X and
Pelican
Scout
must
here.
get out as
Nay.
well.
Doing quite a lot of work on the medic, but it's not enough. And now the second point now belongs to Amicitia.
Yeah, I mean, Amicitia, like they're just again, like they're deathballing the cart, and I don't think Fromp really have got a response to this. They're much more used to the more structured fights, but the deathball really is just working well, and Pelican hasn't been building for a while either. So like that uber disadvantage has now just been equalised now. I'm not sure if Blue Team know it, but again they are still getting quite forward here.
Pelican actually gonna get here, stabbed by the dam. Maybe no. He actually whiffs him just by a bare millimeter or an inch, as you call it in the American units here. But their Dan is still lurking behind. The medic is actually quite far back here. Pelican doesn't have anyone to heal, and red team still struggling to set up some sort of a defense. Maybe on the third point.
Yeah, I say like if Fromp gets set up here, this really could be their cue to stabilize. Like the third point, as you said in pregame, is very hard to push. Just because of that high ground you have, and Pelican might get caught out here, but he does get the Uber. Like there's a trade happening, just on the entrance to the third point here. Just so all the shiny people staring at each other.
Yeah, just a little bit of a stare down here. Red Uber is a little bit better, but Omgar is doing a pretty good job at dodging all the sticks. And now, yeah, that kind of sucks here. But they're going in. They're losing a few players here on its defense again. Amicitia is doing a pretty good job pressuring Fromp from every single side possible, and the engineer doesn't have really any time to set up some sort of a defense.
Look at Retro here, just straight on the cart. Retro's been playing the cart he's gotten so much cat time for his team, and like there's no one focusing him. And Retro, the spy does get out Metal Cloud though. That's they won't be able to repush here, Fromp, but again that's crucial for getting a solid hold on the next point.
Oh, but what a massive triple there by Tep.
I think that was a Jakeowaty. Yeah, Jakeowaty from Torty there with the demo, like really combining their unlocks. They're just demolishing the team.
Now, Blue Team here, Amicitia will try to push this all the way through. Durdan is on the card. He's going to get caught out by Nay.
So close as well.
So close there indeed, but they are now stacking the card. They know they cannot let it get pushed because, well, Blue will have a far forward spawn and will have to defend last. The third point is very crucial and quite easy to defend. Now they've lost all their positions and they need to be playing far back.
Yeah, just seeing here, Metal Cloud looking to push through the from the attack perspective of the right-hand side here, and the flank is down for them though, so I'm not sure how successful they will be with this strategy. But the heavy does have the high ground, and he is just trying to catch people out on the floor here, and they might be the heavy and the medic trying to get behind here. I don't think they've seen the pyro does see that, and the soldier behind will kill Cloud. Very good heads up there from Never Die there.
Bit of a scrappy fight, as you said before. Just people are fighting each other, but like alone. It's a bit of an MGE going on here. Nay is trying to damage as anyone he can, but he got caught out all the way.
My apologies, I did not actually realise the Machina is actually legal in this cup. So we have Castrol here using the 173 gun, and the Pyro Uber does come in from red very aggressively. I think they know they just got that advantage. They're just going to walk into them. Didn't get too much done, but yeah, I mean they've disrupted.
Yeah. If the medic is dead, like there's no reason not to use it if you're in a good position here. But Red is losing a lot of players there. On the card, look, Durdan is trying to like dodge this Pyro, dodging for quite a while, but Mr. 12 is actually getting the kill here. And Amicitia once again set all the way back in the spawn, so far back. It's
Nedge flanks behind, gets the sniper, and he's getting on the demo here as well, just denying this cap, doing an excellent work for his team. Does get a demo out in the end, very good work from him. Survives on just 2 HP. Very calculated play there from Nedge.
What Amicitia actually needs to do in this moment is just to regroup. They've been throwing people at the card constantly, but the red is not really letting them through here. Tauti is actually scoping far forward in this long sideline of the tracks as well. There's a few kills exchanged here and there. Retro is actually going down. There's no heavy.
Yeah, the medic actually, Metal Cloud does pick off the heavy there with his arrow. Yeah, apparently he promised to heal him. But yeah, I think it can be a bit frustrating when the cart is this close and you're the attacking team, and they managed to, like, the defending team managed to get it for just by the skin of their teeth. But they are grouping up here. They are just going to, like, again, do their death ball strategy that worked so well for them on the first point.
They have 100 as well, 100 Uber versus no Uber.
100 Uber in the track. They're walking in as well. No heals on red. Only the medic's only just taking teleporter through, and they will get this cap. And there's a danger here. Look at the health on red team. It's so poor. Oh, but Retro does go down there. Just stagger that push a little bit.
Actually with the medic,
and the engineer's just setting up his sentry again. They're trying to reset up on this point here aggressively, and the sentry does get the combo picks. You know, like I think Craftmac did with aggressive sentry plays here, I think. And again, they're walking into it one by one.
Little bit unwilling to let this one go. They're a bit upset about this, and they're still holding far forward, but the blue team is getting forward spawns. They're gonna go in right now. Retro on the car.
Forces on the medic. He does get him. Oh, just 2 rockets there, and he's... Oh, he didn't get the sniper there. But yeah, again, Force did his job, got the medic, and there's only 3 people alive for the red team now, and this could be rolled all the way through to last. This is one of the dangers of holding aggressively on payload on the last point here. If you have one bad fight like that, it could just potentially be game over. As the respawn wave does come in now for the red team, we'll see if they can defend this car.
Well, Fromp is too scattered here. They've been separated here. Pelican is not healing anyone at the moment. The cart is being pushed by 3 people. He's engineer jumping on the cart, but there's a lot of exchanges here. The soldier is actually doing quite a lot of work. Never knew. It's just crushing on the cart. Such a mess of a fight.
Only 2 people alive for each team here. Very messy fight.
No! Don't leave the carts! Oh no!
Very messy fight there.
Stepped away from the cart for just 1 second. That was enough for Castrol to just push it right in. That looked like Fromp could have just stopped it right there and then, but it just was.
I think they just didn't have the numbers in. And we've got Wheatpig here with his 800 IQ Eureka effect. Maybe going for the Jag effect rollout here. Like this is something you usually see from the more experienced engineers here. But Jag effect, you know, maybe he's an Uncle Dane subscriber. Who knows?
They decide to set up now. It's on their shoulders. How they want to beat this 901 time. 4 points. Well done by Amicitia. Actually, they've been doing pretty well. They had a few stops here and there, you know, stopped on the first point for like about 2 minutes, and the third was a little bit of a scrappy, but as the second, have you noticed, had the second they actually grouped up, Fromp had no idea how to deal with that.
Yeah, like, I think we saw it on them from the first point as well, like, they all just deathballed the cart, and they just rolled through, and they didn't have a response to it. It's only when they're just feeding in one at a time. I think Amicitia have just got they've got such good DM. I think they just Fromp didn't have a response to it. But again, they're going for the aggressive dispenser spot on the rock on the right here, playing similar to, again, like as a casual match plays.
Well, Force is actually running the cow mangler. Ooh.
He's got that infinite ammo hack enabled there.
Well, yeah, but the damage is a little bit less than the regular rocket launcher, and well, it takes a long time to reload, but they're trying to do something. They actually get a kill on Pep.
I think they actually patched that. It's now like identical. It's like a clone of the rocket launcher, just does no building damage. It's like that's why he got banned in 6s.
Actually, that's an interesting unlock, but he's just charging shots, shooting those long range, you know, with the burning effect. But whatever floats their boat.
I think honestly, it's a very good strategy because I think the way that Amicitia played, they played Deathball, and again, Fromp might go counter Deathball, but the cow mangle is charge shot. Of course, I mean it's a guaranteed mini crit and afterburn. I think it honestly can have some potential to have some good plays here. And they're
for a second here,
Metal so far. Force taunting on the pack.
Was a little bit in a predicament there, as being attacked by a scout and a soldier, but his own scout actually protected him all by himself. And now they're fighting Mr. 12.
Medic here. Oh, we just get the engineer.
Constellation price at least, but Fartos is just going in. So low is Simon right now, but he's gonna get scared away here. And Sentry is still level 3, but far back, just protecting anyone from sneaking behind. And right now, Fromp is a little bit stuck. Yeah,
I mean, like, Metal Clown's just chilling. Like, again, he's got like he's so well protected here with his team. He's on the high ground. He's got 100% Uber. He's sitting comfortably. Arrowing his heavy retro there.
No one really to disturb him here with Umger just sitting there as well, putting some sticky traps. It's such a comfortable position for him. And
they've got such a good spam angle on the car as well. Like they just sat on the high ground there. And the demo does go in with only 80 health, and Teps does get caught out there by Umger there. You know, I think that they're just chilling here. I mean, Toast is getting aggressive here on the right-hand side, but I'm not sure how much he can do. He's all by himself, just with his medic, but I think they might be going for an Uber trade here.
But I think the Uber but the Uber comes out. Yeah, Pelican is going in with the heavy here. Toast is spamming it. Yeah, well done here, but at what cost now? The red team pump is...
Pelican's kiting so well. Pelican's so safe up here. His team just taking all of that damage for the fight here, and they're just, again, red are bleeding one time onto them. The Spy also misses back them onto Pelican as well, so again, we're seeing a little bit of a mirror of the first game. A little bit of a slower push, it's a 3-minute push as opposed to a 2-minute push for first point. But again, we've got the death ball on the cart here, walking forwards, and they've got, if they get forwards here, they've got a potential to stagger the spawns here.
They're pushing slowly in, but there is already a dispenser being built up by the engineer here. Wheatpig is setting up his team here, so a sniper as well. Castrol getting a nice sideline, maybe? Not quite, but there's a death ball going. Like you said, this is a mirror match from a previous round. They're going in, completely stacking the card, not even bothering about the
goes
flank.
down to the spy as well. That's crucial.
Completely uncontested here, but the scout goes in, picks up a heavy.
Retro down as well. Like I think, like look at the score difference as well. Like Omga and Retro really are the carries for Red here, and I think it's showing. But Simon's on the medic. Can you get him? Oh, he's hitting such good pistol shots, but again, he's got so many people to deal with. Yeah, like that was unfortunate. But yeah, like, as I was saying, I think the carries for Red Team really are Retro and Omga, and I think that really enabled the just they didn't even have to get any other frags, just pushing through there. I mean, there's a demo down is bad. Oh, a saw for Pelican's got 100% advantage there. They've got a saw on the heavy. And it's just Omga with, but he's got Tetsu Company here. He's being forced to back off, and he's got. I don't think he's a spy either. Yeah, he's got a spy on him potentially.
Trying to get this card as far as possible. Here, Pelican's a bit open here. Durdan is actually lurking in the shadows.
We've got Spy versus Spy here on the top here. Who will win the Spy versus Spy fight? Oh, but Red X Kratos to the revolver here. The revolver from Durdan is too strong.
Look at the defense of the red team right now. Amicitia is not deciding to actually set up top, which is the usual strategy. They just sit far back, waiting for people to come to the choke and leaving a lot of room for Fromp to push in.
Castrol here gets heavy off the cart, and here comes the claps as well, coming in from Amicitia. Oh, Castrol so unlucky there, but the spy does get the med for him. I believe that was a drop as well, actually. I'm not sure, yeah. That was a drop coming out. Yeah, the Castrol and the spy just like both body shot the med with their guns, and they just dropped him. So again, 100% advantage in the bank for Metal Cloud.
Just sitting comfortably in this barn area, first floor. Chilling with the team, waiting for the people to come into their sights as right now Toast getting reinforcement
on the sniper. Sniper's not paying attention, does get the sniper. And the Uber Force does come out as well. Metal Cloud does use very aggressively, but I think he will get the medic as well. Pelican is down so low and he's burning.
Oh, he gets extinguished just in time by Mr. 12. Well done, but it's just going to slow them even more. 4 minutes to go to push 2 points, and with how Amicitia is set up, it's going to be quite difficult.
I think again we're seeing a mirror of the again, like we had the death ball in on the first and second point, but now we're going in one by one again. Like Amicitia did it on the first round, but I think Amicitia really they took a lot less time to push through, so they really had the comfort, the buffer of time there. But yeah, again, Fromp don't really have the time to be sacking him one by one, and the sentry is going to go up on the top spot as well.
Finally, that's a good choice here, as it's going to protect this card very well. Only level 1 though.
The wheat pick there wrenches down the sniper. Big play coming out from him.
Don't my metal, son. But they're going in right now. They need to regroup finally. Fromp is just wasting time and players, just going one by one. Now Tep goes down, Toast goes down. Pelican is in a lot of trouble right now as well.
Oh, the double stab from Red X though. He does get the sniper and the engineer. This could be the saving grace for Fromp here, as they had a pick advantage. Yeah.
Need to capitalize on this one as they're going the medic, 100% on him.
The combo is nowhere near though.
Metal Cloud just popping the Uber. He was a bit forced there. Still 100 on Pelican. He's at 1 HP. He pops
but he's got no one with him, and his combo is so far away. He's getting zoned by the sentry and body blocked as well. I'm not sure if he'll get out. Oh,
he's out.
Clutch play from Pelican there, managing to get out with the safety of his heavy.
Huge!
Torty gets Metal Cloud. Huge
that is
play
huge.
there.
That's opening pick.
Massive.
2.5 minutes
Torty's going for a hero shot on the sniper as well. Would he get it? They've got a second scope fight happening here.
Fromp needs to do something about the situation right now and there, because they're going in Toast with Pelican on the cart right now. They know they need to stack it. There's no sentry up top. This is a perfect opportunity with a kill here.
They got far Toast sat on the cart, 450 health, just charging forward with his team there. But he's got a soldier for company. He has lost his buff, but he does catch out the spy. Or maybe he'll get face stabbed? No, he does pick up the spy in the end. And 2 minutes, this is still possible for Fromp here.
Very much so. They need to stack the card at the moment. Tap is now reunited with his combo. Going in far forward here. Heavy.
Oh, Retro's so forward here. He might die.
Yeah, he does.
And again, this could be a repeat of the previous round here, where the red team just all go really far forward and feed on the last point. Still anyone's game at this point.
This card goes. All the team is just sitting there. What a huge cow mangler shot on them. A lot of people burning at the moment. The Toast is barely alive.
The sniper as well on fire. Oh, and a spy gets caught out. But the sentry does go down anyway. I was going to say that was a big play there. Keeping the spy from the sentry, but no, he does get caught out in the end. The sentry has gone down.
Only level 1. The sentry's only level 1. And now goes down again. Well done by Never Do.
Castrol here, I think Castrol here really needs to put on the big boy pants and put his team in his backpack here.
Flank going in right now.
Comes in and Metal doesn't have it yet.
Getting on them.
Metal running into spawn, does get out, and again they have to play car here, but they've only got 3 people alive.
It looked so promising for them. They were chasing people down, buying a lot of space for their team, but Fromp didn't really have anyone to push in after them, and now.
Yeah. And a spy down as well. Like they're going to be really hard pressed to get a force onto Metal Cloud here on the last point. He's just sitting with 100% advantage. They haven't got time for an Uber.
Need to group up again. They need to make a medic play, do something about this, because there's half a minute to go. There's a sniper on the cart as well.
Metal Cloud and his team know they got advantage as well. Like, look how forward the sentry is, and the heavy on the cart as well. They know that they can just use on the cart when it's 10 seconds left and just win. Someone really has to force Metal Cloud in the next 5 seconds, else it could be just GG here.
They're going in. Look at what they're doing. Going with the Toast. Toast is just going to start shooting. Pelican's not even worried about his health at the moment, but they're going to pop.
Pelican once again kiting the Uber very well, but I think there's just 2 people around him. He does go down in the end.
And
there's Pirate left on the cart, but yeah, he does get cleaned up. And yeah, very clinical defense.
Amicitia actually winning this one. Going 4 to 3 points.
I was very impressed with the way that Amicitia were able to push and get forward and defend off advantages there. They really just I think they just outplayed Fromp there in terms of rotations as well.
And then last point as well, I think it was just the biggest downfall of Fromp was that last push. They had the Uber advantage. They had the players in the right positions. It's just something happened in that choke when they were going in that they just got caught out, cleaned up, and there was only the demo man and the medic pushing into the spawn with no one else to push the cart. If that had worked, that would have been a completely different story.
They pushed through the correct position. They all went through the choke there, which is where most teams would push through. Even in the highest divisions, they would push through the right hand side choke. They had everybody. I'm not sure, but I think Torty might have gone down, and because of that, they had poor calls on what was going on the other side of the map, and their flank might have gone down as well. And I think Amicitia really played that just clinically. That's what you want to do if you're defending with Uber disadvantage on payload, is you just want to, and they're pushing into you. You want to get your med out, rotate into spawn, and you want to play the cart. And then once you've got people off the cart, there's just the Uber left on you. And they really did just did that to great effect there. I think Amicitia have really been doing their homework.
Now, just gonna have a little quick look at the logs, as logs really do tell us a lot. And once you sort by the amount of kills, Umger at 30 kills, but there is an unsung hero in there as well. 30 kills for Simon, the scout from Amicitia. Yeah,
Simon was really like just getting in there, getting good frags. I think if it a bit more synced up, maybe with Force. Like Force has some good plays, just like by himself, just picking off the medic and the combo with his bombs. But I think if he'd have been a bit more in sync with Simon, they would have really they still won, but I think they could have potentially won even harder.
It was a high fragging game, though. I mean, there's a lot of people with 30 kills each. Simon and Umger both at 30, 21 for Retro, Never Do, and Mr. 12. A lot of kills. Even medics got their share with 2 kills each.
Well, but again, high frag game. I think with both teams opting to, I think it was the third point both teams really struggled at with pushing in a coordinated manner. I think that's where a lot of the kills came from. I think just again, Umger the demo going 30 to 9 there, 511 DPM. Just again, as I said, him and the heavy just have the team on their backs completely. They just have the stronger shoulders on their teams. I think Umger as well. It was very difficult for Fromp to deny him because I think their pyro missed a 12. Again, he did well. 21 frags for him, but I think he was having trouble with the spy, so he couldn't really deny spam too much.
I believe we get a call up from Wiethoofd. This is a best of 3, so both teams actually still waiting for the last player to join in. And now currently, Amicitia is leading with the 1 point they need, edging them a little bit closer to the semifinals, finals, and possibly their victory in the tournament. We don't know yet. Fromp still has something to show us. I believe they won their previous game, didn't they, on Lakeside?
Yeah, Fromp beat Mediocre Mercs 3-1. Again, as that was a close game as well. Like, I think Fromp with Fromp's coordination, I think, like, yeah, I'm just gonna like go out and say I think Amicitia have better DM, but I think Fromp's coordination was the reason it was so close.
That's true.
I think they were just out rotating people on Lakeside against Mediocre Mercs. I think that really was what gave them the win on that map. It'll be interesting to see if they can really I think they made the same mistakes. Both teams really made the same mistakes pushing third, but I think it wasn't that they weren't grouped up. It wasn't that they weren't recognizing advantages. It's that they just weren't grouped up. Because I think there was a time where they got a really good picks on like the engineer, but they just didn't have the combo with them at the time. But they did manage to trade out afterwards, I think.
But yeah, third point was a problem for both teams, actually. They have not been setting up in the usual engineer spot, as I would expect, because the top spot there is probably the best one you can have, as it's very well protected. If you have a whole team holding up there, you have the height advantage that is very crucial in Team Fortress 2 as a game. And you can also hold down the flank here with the choke point, the little staircase that leads to it, as well as the other side. So it's a very, very interesting point to hold, an interesting point to attack. But what blue team really is suffering from is that the respawns are very far back, which means that they take a very long time to get back into the action. They need to rely on the engineers' teleports, and the spy is working on them constantly. He just delays the reinforcements constantly, over and over again. And I think this is the key to defending the third point well, is that just have spy being a dedicated teleporter sapper in order to delay the other team from reinforcing and grouping up.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, to Craft Max credit, he did keep his teleporter up very well. I think it was more the fact that I think the reason that they couldn't push the third point. I mean, it's nitpicking, it's tiny, but I think it was really because like the heavy took the teleporter and the Demo Man didn't, and the Demo Man only did one jump across the cart tracks on second, so that's why they really had a hard time pushing. Just on that one exchange by itself. Like, really, I think both teams struggle with pushing third. I mean, it is a very hard point to push once the defending team is set up in it. But I think both teams really like to have aggressive holds, and I think really that was to Fromp's downfall on their round of Borneo. I mean, if they weren't so aggressive after it had been capped, they could have maybe gotten another couple of minutes out of it. I mean, yeah. Yeah, so we're hoping to bring you the rest of the best of three. I believe the winner of this advances to semi-finals, actually. So
that's correct, I believe. I mean, Wiethoofd, maybe a little production man.
We get a. Okay. All right, so we're not too sure right now whether we've got a second game of Borneo or a best of three. Well, I mean, we've been told it goes to a best of three, but you might be going over to a different game. We'll have to, yeah. Again, as we were saying in pre-game, it's just such a long map.
It is.
Yeah.
It just takes a long time to push the card. It's not even about the length of the map overall. Like you said, Swiftwater really suffers from the same cases. It just really takes away a lot of people just sitting on the card for like a minute or two, not doing literally anything aside from just sitting on the card. And that's just not really interesting for many players, especially scouts on offense. However, on defense, you have a lot of room to be playing with and a lot of room to work with. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Some people like it, some people hate it. Same with Swiftwater. I do enjoy Borneo and I do enjoy Swiftwater just because of how like expansive and how complicated these maps are. But at the same time, if the teams are very closely matched, it really takes a long time to get any sort of score settled. So,
still waiting for both teams. Stalemate. Like, payload stalemates aren't really that fun to like. They're not very fun to play. Like I can't think of anything just more grueling than playing scout on the attacking team when you're attacking a payload last, but the teams are evenly matched. Like that is just honestly, you really struggle to get anything done at all. Because a lot of the way that payload works is, of course, the points get progressively harder to push as you go through, and especially on maps like Upwood and Badwater, when the defending team usually have height advantage over you, right? If you're pushing, And it's really you really can't do anything as a scout really unless you're having an Uber trade, and it's just so much downtime as well, especially in games where there's like so many frags going on the medics. You know, like there's a medic down all the time in this game here. Like the spies are doing huge plays on medics here, just getting those stabs and revolver shots on them for the drops. So I think when there's a lot of downtime, some of it's why a lot of people don't really like Highlander a lot. You know, like every class isn't. Not all classes are created equal, right? Every class isn't going to have the best time as another class, like a demo man. He's quite clearly a lot more powerful than a lot of the other classes. Whereas in sixes, all the classes are quite evenly matched, so to speak. You know, like Highlander, it's more about what picks you get as opposed to how many picks you get a lot of the time.
And the teamwork, especially, because you can MG around. But if you don't get the teamwork right, you can have the best team in the world, made out of the best players in the world, but it just won't work if you don't have the teamwork. You can just pick a map like Steel, and you have a team that is just not very good, but they have done their homework. And then you have the best team just of MGE players, and it might actually be close, if not for the team who is prepared to win, because they just know what to do, they don't waste time arguing, and it just works. This is how Highlander works, and
I mean,
this is the reason why people play it.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have to be CP Steel. Like I think a classic example is really there's Foyotech. They have a Highlander team in NA Platinum, and you'd think, well, they've got players, like they've got of course Banny and Blaze and Habib and Shade as well, and like you think, wow, they're gonna just destroy Platinum, but no, they're an average Platinum team. Like they just have exceptional DM capabilities. It's just obviously they're not quite as Highlander oriented. So as you said, you can have the best DM in the world. If you haven't got the strategies for Highlander, it won't do you any good at all. Well, apparently Wiethoofd is over talking to the admins about what's going to happen next about this tournament. We will have semi-finals for you later on, guaranteed. We're just seeing if we're doing the best of 3 for this map or not, or if we're having a different set of different teams maybe playing each other. Because if I understand correctly, it is a sort of a round-robin type thing.
I think this calls for a short break.
Yeah. Just go to a break and
just
we'll see what's happening.
Settle everything up.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.